My name is Julian, and this is my Inuit experience. I was accepted into Northeastern's Inuit program in March, and immediately knew that I wanted to study abroad in Australia. Summer flew by, and before I knew it, I was on a 10,000-mile flight to Melbourne, Australia. 26 hours later, we finally arrived at Swinburne University of Technology in Hawthorne, and spent the first few days adjusting to Australian college life. There were many cultural differences, such as new Aussie slang and different food. Cooking was certainly an experience, and meals during the first week didn't always go as planned. However, this was an excuse to go out and try some local food. We had some time to go explore the city and get to know each other before classes started. The city was beautiful, and I quickly felt at home. Classes were interesting, and teachers made chemistry, Australian history, and GE my favorite classes. Throughout the semester, we had numerous opportunities to give back to the community through service learning. The first was a walk in the park, which is an event sponsored by Parkinson's Victoria to raise money and awareness for Parkinson's disease. My role was to collect donations on the streets of Melbourne to help fund Parkinson's research. Each week, I also volunteered on the Swinburne campus, helping foreign students practice their English in Conversation Club. While it was certainly difficult at times, it was an extremely rewarding experience. I learned a lot about cross-cultural communication and cultural differences, and met people from all around the world over the course of the semester. During the semester, we also went on many Northeastern-sponsored trips in Melbourne. We saw Australian football and soccer games and visited the Eureka Skydeck. However, we also went on trips all around the country with Real Australia. Our first trip was to the Healesville Sanctuary, where we got to see many well-known Australian animals, such as kangaroos and koalas, but also many others that I've never seen before. The next trip was to Phillip Island, where we visited Willamai Beach, saw some massive pelicans, and slid down the famous sand dune, which only resulted in a few concussions. A few weeks later, I got to go surfing for the first time at Torquay Beach. The fourth trip was to the famous Great Ocean Road, where we saw the 12 Apostles, found some wild koalas, and swam in the beautiful Lockhart Gorge. Our final trip was to Sydney, where I got to see the Opera House and visit the famous Bondi Beach. For our mid-semester break, I traveled to New Zealand's South Island with 6 other friends, where we spent the week living in a camper van. We drove all around the island, which was the most beautiful place I've ever been. We traveled to places such as Mount Cook, Lake Te Anau, and Milford Sound. After a week, we headed back to Queenstown and spent our last day skiing and skydiving before heading back to Australia. We also had plenty of time to explore on the weekends or between classes. We saw many of Melbourne's beaches, such as Blackrock, St Kilda, and Brighton, where we unknowingly swam with flesh-eating bugs that had just been discovered in the water. But luckily, no one got bit. Throughout the semester, we also got to see a lot of the city, as well as many interesting neighborhoods. Each Wednesday, we went to the winter night market, where we tried local foods such as camel and kangaroo. One weekend, we took the train to the Dandenong Ranges, where we hiked in the rain and got attacked by wild birds. In September, we even had the chance to watch the AFL Grand Finals, which is the Australian equivalent of the Super Bowl. The Richmond Tigers won, and I got to see the Killers perform after the game. This semester, I learned a lot about Australia and myself. I made countless new friendships and saw many new places. Over the course of the past 4 months, Melbourne has become like a second home, and I hope to come back.